Alright, welcome back everybody to the paper of the Mario 2. Hi Mario 2, how are you doing today? Great, doing great. Chris, thanks for asking. We are in World 3 now. World 3 of 8. So we're actually doing Okie Dokie Day. We're doing about a world per episode, which is good. So we'll finish this series off around 8 episodes or so. Each episode not being terribly long to watch, so you don't have to sit through an hour-long episode for me to get through a world. And what else? Of course you have me. The ever-entertaining, very interesting Chris, who has, at this point in the recording, a whopping 25 followers, probably 22 of which are probably bought. So if you fall down like this, the best thing you can do is try to figure out where the guy with the carpet is and try and land on his head. If you can do that, you're sitting pretty. Also, you don't, in this particular level, you don't have a ton of time to get up towards the vine. So if you try and do that jump thing I did earlier, you're probably not going to make the vine. But yeah. See? That's how you play the game. You perfectly land on, we'll call you Piplup. No, not Piplup, that's a Pokemon. We'll call you Owlie. So you land on an Owlie's head, who rides a magic carpet for some reason. And the Owlie, you can land on top of his head, you won't take any damage. And if you don't take any damage, you get to live and save your 15 lives for a different enemy to lose your life to. See? Okay. Get out of here, big shy guy. No one likes you. Prank you. Throw it at that guy. I missed. Well, that's also good. Dead. So we're going to... There should be a mushroom either down here or somewhere near here. Go find it. I know, you cannot carry shit up the ladder, Christopher. Nice try. Nice try, Christopher. You cannot carry it up here. Oh, look, there's a thingy, but I can't go up the ladder because I'm a dumb guy. I'll have to do this again, but put the thing closer to me. Closer to the ladder so I don't make it impossible for me to climb it. Here's a question for everybody that I'm gonna ask. It's a personal question, unfortunately. And by personal, I mean it's a question that involves me and doesn't really involve anyone else. I work at a relatively small company. We've got about 60 employees now, maybe 70. And we've been rapidly growing. So when I first started, we had maybe about 30 employees, including installers. And we've been growing slowly but surely because, you know, we went from being, you know, roughly I can't remember what the original goal was. I remember when I first started, the goal was to hit 20 million. But I don't remember where we were at. I don't know if we were trying to go from a $5 million company to a $20 million company. Or if we were going from a $10 million company to a $20 million company. Well, needless to say, we're more than a $20 million company. We make more than $20 million. And then you have to obviously... Well, let's put it this way. We make $20 million, then you subtract all of our expenses, including wages, materials, renting the property we rent, paying for improvements, etc. Actually, I don't know if... I think we own our building, but own in the case of like we pay a mortgage on it, not own as in like we paid it off already. Did I do it? I did do that. Now I gotta go up there where the big raven mouth, hawk mouth thing is. Da 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 da. You didn't get any coins, so you don't get a bonus. You jerk. Jerky. Jerky. Anyways, I've distracted enough from the preamble of my question. Vacation. I don't seem to take it. I don't know why. I've been working for the same company for about 7 years now, and I've taken less than 7 weeks of vacation, and I am entitled to 2 weeks of vacation per year. So over the course of 7 years, I should have roughly 14. Oh, not 14. I should have 10 days every year. Okay. Well, if you don't use your vacation, you can roll it over. But you can only roll over 50% of the vacation that you accumulate in a year. So if you get 2 years every year, okay, simple math, obviously. You get 2 years and you only use 1 year, you can roll 1 year over. So now you have 3 years. But you only earn 2 years again. So the most you can roll over 3 years, which means that in year 2, you rolled over, if you only used 1 week, you can roll another week over, so you have a total of 3 weeks of vacation you can use. Pretty sweet, right? But if you don't use at least 2 weeks, you lose them. You don't get paid for them. You don't get anything for them. Okay? Pretty straightforward. This is pretty straightforward answer where I say, oh, Christopher, the obvious answer is you take the vacation, you don't fucking worry about it. You know, if you want to have 3 weeks of vacation in case you get sick, that's good on you. You use just 1 vacation week 1 year, and then you'll have that extra vacation week next year. Thumbs up. You're doing great, Chris. You're being super smart about it in case you get really sick and need to take an extra week off, in addition to taking maybe a normal week of vacation, okay? Here's my issue. Here's where the big problem issue comes in, okay? When I go away, I need my work to be covered. I do not want to come back and find out that nothing that that needed to be done in my department did not get done while I was away. I'm gonna say, well, Christopher, you don't have any coworkers that could back you up. In this case, I kind of do and I kind of don't. I am a department in myself. I am purchasing, and there is nobody who really, quote unquote, backs me up. I.e., I don't have any underlings. I don't have a boss. It's just me in purchasing. If I'm not doing the purchasing, no one's purchasing. Now, do I have a backup? Yes, I have a backup. A lady who's supposed to back me up while I'm on vacation. Generally what happens is the purchasing half, i.e., hey, I need you to order 15 rolls of toilet paper. That's just an example. That's obviously sundry items that you need for the toilets, not anything you need for actual business. But just as an example, you need to order something, there's someone there to order. Okay, fair, okay? However, if you expect anything that gets received to get matched up and sent upstairs so that they can pay the bill, nope, won't get done. It'll just sit in my folder, won't happen. Either because they don't give it to the right person, or that person doesn't want to do it because they don't really want to not really 100% sure how to do the job. The question and then becomes, if I take a week off, I'm not really taking a week off. I'm just saying, okay, Christopher, you're going from having a week's worth of work to you're going to take a vacation, and you're going to relax, enjoy yourself, and maybe go to the beach or go out in the woods, get a cabin, whatever you want to do with your vacation, But when you come back, you're not going to have 1 week of work. You're going to have to make up 2 weeks worth of work minus whatever small purchases got made, or whatever small amount of work that would take you. If you came back and that portion of your work was not done, it would take you let's say an hour. Let's say it's a full week of work that literally does not get done. Nothing gets done the whole week you're gone, okay? The orders, to do the reorders, okay, would probably take me under an hour to catch up on all the reorders. Now, when it comes to catching up on all of the, well, we received XYZ products in, and now you got to match the invoice to the receiving slip, not so much. Because that means I got to take time to not only go through my emails, which I probably have. On the low end, I probably have about 500-600 emails. On the high end, I probably have about 1,000 emails that I gotta sort through to find the invoices. Then I gotta get the receiving. Then I gotta separate it. Then I gotta match it up. Then I gotta get it upstairs so they can pay it. What fucking horseshit is that? So, like, at the end of the year, my HR person goes, you know, you've got like 3 weeks of vacation left. And I say, yeah, I'm not going to use that. And they say, well, you know, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, right? And I tell her every year, you know, if I really wanted to go somewhere, I would go somewhere. But sometimes coming back to 2 weeks worth of work is not worth taking a week off. They always say, well, they always tell me, well, you don't have to take a whole week off. You can take a day off here and there. You know, say 5 Fridays, for instance. That would be 1 week. That'd be a vacation. It would equate to 1 vacation week. That's fair. That's fair. I could do that. But again, in the same capacity I was just talking about, instead of having to come back to 5 days worth of work, I've lost 1 day of work that I've now got to make up on Monday. Irritates the shit out of me that I don't have a legitimate backup, and I'm so goddamn busy that it doesn't make sense to take vacation. Just does not make sense because there's just too much damn work to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's truly sad, and I have no one to blame but myself, truly and honestly. It's not my manager's fault. It's not the HR's fault. It's my fault. Because I've not made anyone responsible when I'm gone away. I go away so frequently because I don't necessarily need to go away. And I suppose if I was more well-connected, I had, you know, if I wasn't older and my friends weren't all married and I was married, you know, maybe things would be obviously different, because then there would be me and the wife, and we'd make plans, and we would schedule vacation ahead of time, and, you know, the whole 9 yards. Let's go away to the beach. Let's go out. I don't know. Maybe looking at corn in Iowa really gives you a really hard boner, or really turns the wife on. You know, really gives her a hard, you know, just absolute twomp. You know, she's just a mess. Okay, just looking at that corn. Okay, I get it. Not pouring corn, and I'm not using the TikTok friendly version of the word porn either. But that's my own individual complaint. I have, like I said, no one to blame but myself. I'm not one of those like 20-somethings who go, oh, my boss is fucking me, oh, this blah 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 that. Because if I was really upset, I'd already have changed jobs. Too old. You know, they always say, I'm too old for this shit. Yeah, I'm not too old. Technically, I'm not too old for anything, but I'd rather not. And if I'm given the option between, hey, I actually care about you and I really want you to continue to work here, you know, and if anything we can do to keep you working here, that's great. I'm gonna do that to make your life easier. But I've taken 3 in the 7 years. Well, it's a little more. I've taken more vacation days than just 3 weeks. Because I take vacation days here and there, and then I've gotten sick a couple times, which in this day and age, we can't trust anyone to have actually be sick on their sick days. So instead, we've decided that we're gonna keep you 2 weeks of vacation. But that sick leave that your parents used to get, yeah, they kind of use that to the point that you're no longer allowed to have sick leave. Either because either you do that thing where you call in sick when you're really not because, hey, I've got sick days to use, I might as well use them. Or you do what my dad did, never get fucking sick except for maybe in his entire career, maybe... I'm gonna die. I've decided I'm gonna die right now. Okay, I survived somehow. And then I die. Okay, fine. Great job, Chris. I gotta go all the way back up to get that key again. Yeah, because whoever, millennials, Gen X, whoever you want to blame, corporate America, whoever, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't need a scapegoat per se. But you don't get sick days anymore. Your sick days are your vacation days. And because it's standard to give everyone 2 weeks of vacation, and there's no more sick days, that's all you get. You get 2 weeks of vacation. If you get sick one of those weeks, or you get sick a couple days, make sure you got some vacation saved up. Yes, and I'm sure there'll be a day, I presume in the future, I could be wrong, don't hold me to it, in 2020, it's not 2020, it's already 2020, Chris. In 2030, don't hold me in 2030 or 2035, you know, when all the fucking boomers are on their way out of politics, and you know, all the Gen X, millennials are starting to actually take power in government, that we don't see more of an employee power movement that gets what do you call it, sick days back in the fold of things that are considered basic employee benefits. But yeah, I mean, at least for me, the entire time that I've been a working adult, from the age of, say, roughly 22, 23, when I graduated from college, up to, you know, where I'm at right now, I've never, ever had a sick day. There's never been a designated sick day that has not been taken out of some variation of a vacation. What's the nice word they like to use for instead of vacation? They call it paid time off. So don't call it vacation, because you don't have to take vacation during your paid time off. You can choose to do whatever you want with it. You want to go to a doctor's appointment, use paid time off. You want to, you know, you're having a medical treatment. You're going to be out 8 weeks. You gotta use 2 weeks of vacation. You gotta use your vacation first before anything else. Any sort of medical leave kicks in. Any sort of, you know, a short-term disability doesn't kick in until after you've used all your vacation. And I get it. You get one or two fuckers out there that gotta ruin it for the rest of us, so that, you know, not only do I immediately, if I get truly ill and I end up in the hospital, not only do I have to completely and utterly sacrifice any vacation time, paid time off I have, before any disability kicks in. I get it. We live in a conservative world where everybody's trying to game the system, and the only true people that are allowed to game the system are the ultra wealthy. Not the wealthy, the ultra wealthy. They're the ones that are able to find the loopholes so they don't pay taxes, whereas your regular business owner, your regular mom and pop employee, your blue collar, your white collar, you know, worker is not going to be able to afford or get a bank to sign on, you know, their net worth is $1 million, and we're just going to give you a loan for $1 million, so that you can then not pay taxes because it's a loan, it's not actually money, but then you have physical spending cash, which I know I've complained about this subject before. I get it. I don't want to be charged tax on my loan. I get that. But at the same time, if you're using first of all, if you're a bank and you're loaning out money based on someone's stock portfolio, at a certain point, you have to start getting paid interest. You have to start. You can't just have a loan that gets paid by another loan. That gets paid by another loan. This is you know, the quote unquote 2020, the 2008 housing market all over again. You're paying people based on a loan that's based on their stock price, which can fluctuate up and down. And then at the end, they just take another loan out to pay off the old loan. So they can continue to make money without having to pay taxes, and at the end of the day, who is left holding the bag? Either you pay back the loan at some point, or you file for bankruptcy and the bank gets fucked. Despite the fact that these people are smart, and they have college degrees, possibly masters, and they're running multi-million-dollar banks, they somehow can't understand basic mathematics. And I get it. If you're a bank and one of your main sources of income is in fact interest, which most banks, that's one of their ways that they make a lot of money. Another one that they make a lot of money in, and it's kind of disgusting, but I kind of understand it in a way, the way they explain it, I kind of understand, is fees. If you're banking on people fucking up and getting charged overdraft fees, you need to find a new line of business, honey. Not to go to no nonsense black woman, stereotypical black woman on you, but like if part of your business relies on overdraft fees, I don't know, that's on America. That's on America for being so fucking fiscally stupid with their money that they can fund whole branches of banks because, well, you know, I mean, it's only 36 or 42 or whatever they're charging for overdraft fees now. I mean, it's just fucking disgusting is what it is. Now, you say to me, Christopher, who's really responsible? You are responsible. I'm responsible for my own fucking loan payments, everything else, my mortgage, whatever. Gotta pay my loans back. Gotta pay my credit card back. That's on you. I'm sorry. I hate to be. I understand. We all want to be little weenie, you know, guy who. Oh, it's not my fault. It's society's fault that I'm poor. And I can understand that in a way. Because if businesses are not required to pay you a living wage, they're not going to do so. I get that. I understand that as a liberal, whatever you want to call me, douchebag. I get that. I understand that's how the world works, okay? You know, because businesses are incentivized to pay workers the least amount of money to maximize their profits. Whether that's in a small business, a large business, or a corporation. I get that. Okay? But it is also your job as an employee to try to get as much money out of a company as you possibly can. And I understand it's very easy when you've got heads of businesses basically telling HR or whoever not to raise wage. I get that. You have the ability to leave. You have the ability to negotiate. Say, hey, if you're not going to raise my salary. I understand many people are completely, now this goes from bottom to top, completely and utterly uninformed about what their skills are really worth. And I understand it's based on what you can sell. If you say, well, you know, I think as the CEO, I'm worth $1 million, and your and you somehow can produce that $1 million, then yeah, you're worth $1 million. If you were not there, would your company be $1 million? If you would, without you, would your company be $1 million poorer? If so, then yes, you're worth $1 million. If without you they can do business just as easily, then you are worth just the same amount as everybody else. You're worth $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, whatever. And I understand your decisions could make or break a company. That's why you're worth more. I get that. You're making the big boy decisions. You're thinking about them. That keeps everybody else employed. I get that. But what are you producing? What are you producing? What do you do that produces wealth for the company versus what do you do that takes wealth away from the company? All right. Well, that's the end of World 3. I'm going to cut the episode when we come back. We're going to do World 4, which is possibly my least favorite world. Look forward to that in the next episode. Choose a